In this video today, we'll be exploring more about the new tone brush tool inside of Affinity that has recently been rolled out. So before starting, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please hit the subscribe button for more helpful tips and tricks related to Affinity. And if you want to follow along with this tutorial, please find the link for the images in the description. Now with that said, let's get started with the video. So to showcase you the new tone brush tool in Affinity, let us open our Finder window. And from the Finder window, let us simply open the Image1 folder. And from the Image1 folder, we'll simply click and drag the dancer image inside of our Affinity UI in order to open it. Now, after opening our dancer image, let us select this new tone brush tool. So at the left inside of the toolbar, you'll be able to see the new tone brush tool right here, which you can simply click and select it. And if you don't see this tool, you'll be able to see an adjustment brush tool right here. If you only see the adjustment brush tool, you can simply click and hold the adjustment brush tool. And after clicking and holding, you can select the new tone brush tool right here inside of these options. Now, after selecting the new tone brush tool, if you look at the top inside of the contextual bar, you'll be able to see that there are new settings. And just to showcase, this new tone brush tool is fully capable of applying different type of effects apart from dodge and burn, including blend and inverse blend as well. So for this particular image, we'll be using the dodge and burn option to apply the new dodge and burn by using this tone brush tool feature in Affinity. So here, if you look at the left, you'll be able to control the opacity. So since we are going to make our dancer pop in this image, who is also the subject of this image, we'll decrease the opacity value. So I'll simply click here and drag to the left in order to decrease the opacity value. And I'm doing this by simply clicking on the icon and holding the click and then simply dragging to the left. So I'll set the value to 52% here. And next, I'll leave the value of the flow as it is. And I'll decrease the hardness value as well. So I'll set the hardness value to somewhere at 2%. The next thing that I'll be doing is simply clicking on these numbers value and then pressing the 2 key in the keyboard to apply 2% value for hardness. And now after applying the 2% value for hardness, make sure that the next option that you will be selecting is dodge and burn, since we are going to make our image pop by using this feature of dodge and burn here. And similarly, make sure the blend mode option is selected as overlay for now. And after selecting the blend mode option as overlay, we are able to select the range option as well. That is whether we want to apply the dodge and burn effect in the shadows, midtones, highlights, or full range. So for this, I'll simply set it as full range. And likewise, the next option we have is whether to add or apply this dodge and burn effect on the parent layer itself or to clip inside or clip then sibling. So for this, I'll simply set the parent option here. And now let us brush over the image to apply the dodge and burn effect. So since we want to make our subject pop, we want to add a contrast of dodge and burn between the background as well as the subject. So for that, I'll simply increase the size of the brush. And to increase the size of the brush, I'll use the shortcut key of Ctrl plus Option and then click and drag to the right to increase the size of the brush. So I'll set the size to somewhere at 305.3 pixels here. And if you're using Windows, you can also use the shortcut key of Ctrl plus Alt and then similarly click and drag to the right to increase the size of the brush and drag to the left to decrease the size of the brush. And this particular shortcut key will better work with the Windows machine as well. Now, the next thing is we'll be applying the burn effect to the background. So to apply the burn effect to the background, I'll be holding down the command key here. And after holding down the command key, you can see now that the mode of our brush has changed, where it is ready to apply the burn effect on top of our background image. And by the way, if you are using Windows, you can hold down the Control key in order to switch the mode of the tone brush tool to dodge. And now, after holding down the command key, let us simply brush over these extra background of this image. So we'll simply brush over these extra backgrounds in the left portion first. And after brushing here, we'll simply hold down the command key again and then brush over the extra portion on the right hand side as well. And let us brush over this extra portion at the top as well as the right hand side right here. And the next thing that we can also do is again hold down the control key and option key and then click and drag to the left to decrease the size of the brush first. And if you're using Windows, you can hold down the control key and alt key at the same time and then click and drag the brush to the left. Now, after decreasing the size of the brush, let us click on the Z key or the Z key in our keyboard and then click and drag to the right to zoom in. And after zooming in, let's hold down the spacebar key and then pan to the bottom. And similarly, let us again select our new tone brush tool and then start brushing over these gaps. And for that, we'll hold down the command key first and then start to brush over these gaps as well to apply the burn effect to the other missing areas. And by the way, don't worry if the burn effect has been spilled inside of the subject. We can fix that easily by applying the inverse of the burn tool, which is the dodge tool. Now, let us use the shortcut key of Command plus 0 to fit our image to the screen. And this time, again, we'll be using the shortcut key of Control plus Option and then click and drag to the right in order to increase the size of the brush. And if you're using Windows, you can also use the shortcut key of Control plus Alt and then click and drag to the right in order to increase the size of the brush. And after increasing the size of the brush, let us adjust the size of the brush further. And now, this time, in contrast to holding down the command key to apply the burn effect, we'll simply brush over our subject. However, before brushing our subject, I think the dodge effect is a bit harsh. So, in order to make it a bit subtle, we'll simply click on this particular opacity option and then drag it to the left and apply it a value of somewhere at maybe 22%. And now let us brush over our subject. So now I'll simply click and brush over these areas around or inside the subject. So by the way, we can again use the shortcut key of Control plus Option and then adjust the size of our brush. And then after adjusting the size of the brush, we can again brush over the extra other areas that are remaining here in order to apply those dodge effect. You can see here, it is applying those dodge effect here. And similarly, we can apply those dodge effect right here as well. Now you can see that let's apply few dodge effect to the remaining areas right here at the edges as well of the subject and as well as the bottom part of the dancer's feet. Now, after applying those dodge effect, the next thing that you'll be able to notice inside of our layers panel is that the one magical thing and the best thing of this tool is everything happens non-destructively. That is, if you look inside of the layers panel, then a new dodge and burn tone layer has been automatically created as a parent layer that is placed on top of our background layer inside of the layers panel. So we can delete or toggle the visibility of this particular layer at any time to see the before and after. So we can play around these settings to make this effect much more natural and much more appealing than how it is looking currently. However, I hope you understand the basic concept of this particular new tonal brush tool where one of its feature is dodge and burn that we have recently applied. Now, in order to make the effect of the dodge and burn much more subtle and natural, the next thing that we can also do is by selecting the dodge burn tone layer from the layers panel, we can control the opacity value. So let us click on the opacity attribute here and then decrease the opacity value in order to make the dodge and burn effect much more natural. So I'll set the value to 51% here. And now if we check the before and after, you'll be able to see that this was the before and this is the after. So now you'll be able to see that our subject is popping out as well as looking much more natural and realistic in this image. Now, similarly, let us open the Finder menu again. And from the Finder menu, we'll navigate back, and this time we'll select the image 2 folder once more. And by selecting the image 2 folder, we'll now click and drag image 1 first and open it inside of the new document in Affinity. So in order to open the new document, we'll simply click and drag to the top of the Affinity UI here, and this will open the image as a background in a new document. And now after opening this image as a new document, similarly, let us open the Finder window again and again click on the image 2 and then drag it inside on top of the canvas in order to open it inside of this document. So now you can see that this image 2 layer is not aligned at the center here in the canvas. So to align it to the center, let us first select the snapping tool at the top here, and after selecting the snapping tool, we'll be simply selecting the image 2 layer once again, and now you can see the guides that will help us to align this image at the center of the canvas. Now, similarly, let us again place our image, which is the subject for this composition, on top of the canvas, and for that, we'll simply select the subject image and then click and drag it inside of the canvas. Now, in order to align him to the center, we'll simply click and adjust our image right at the center of our canvas. Now the next thing that we can do is we can see the full view by using the shortcut key of Command plus minus here, and now we'll be able to see the maximum area of our image here. So before starting, let us also rename our images just for the organizational purposes. So now for that, I'll simply double click on the background text right here inside of the background layer, and I'll rename it as background 1. And similarly, I'll again double click on the text for image 2 layer here, rename this layer as background 2. And similarly, I'll again double click on the subject layer here and rename this layer simply as our main subject. So after renaming it simply as subject, next we'll simply mask out the background by only retaining our subject right here. And to do that, we'll select our object selection tool since it will be much more quicker to select. So let us give it a few more time to detect, and after it has detected the subject, now you can see that it indicates that the subject has been detected by the patterns here. Now we'll simply click on the subject and it will automatically make the selection out of the subject. Next, after selecting the subject, we'll simply click on the mask icon right here beneath the layers panel, and after clicking on the mask icon, now the background has been successfully maxed out. Now let us use the shortcut key of Command plus D to deselect the selection, and after deselecting the selection, we'll simply toggle the visibility of background layer 1 to off and select the subject layer by selecting or clicking on its thumbnail. After selecting the subject layer, where we'll be applying this new tone brush tool, let us navigate to the left and select the new tone brush tool right here. And after selecting the tone brush tool, this time instead of the new dodge and burn effect, we'll select the blend option right here on our top contextual bar. After selecting the blend option, make sure that the option of the blend modes is selected as overlay here. And since we'll be applying the tone brush tools blend feature at the highlight areas of the subject, make sure that your option for full range is selected as highlights here, and instead of the parent, we want to clip the blend effect inside of the current subject layer. So let us select the clip inside option here. Now after selecting the clip inside option, let us adjust the opacity value here. So I'll set the opacity value to somewhere at 42% for this, and keep the other settings for the flow as well as hardness as it is. Now, by making sure that the subject layer is selected and increasing the size of the brush by holding down the shortcut key of Ctrl plus Option and clicking and dragging to the right, let us simply brush over the left hand portion of our subject, and you can see that it is starting to apply those blend effect through this new tone brush tool at the highlight areas. And similarly, we can change the option to midtones in order to target the midtones. And now we can simply click and then drag our brush in the midtone areas of the subject. And let us again click and brush over the midtone areas which are remaining. And similarly, let us now select the option for shadows, and then by holding down the option or shortcut key of Ctrl plus Option and then clicking and dragging to the right, this time we'll simply brush over the right hand portion of our subject. And by the way, don't worry if the brush effect or the tone brush effect will spill outside our subject, because since we are selecting the option of clip inside, it will only apply those tone brush effect inside of the subject. Therefore, the effect of tone brush tool will not spill outside of our subject. Now we can again check the before and after here. So this was the before and this now is the after. And similarly, let us now apply a new tone brush tool in a new background. So for that, I'll simply click the toggle visibility icon for background one layer here first, and then click on the toggle visibility icon on the background 2 layer to hide the background 2 layer. And after hiding the background 2 layer, next, since the tones of our subject is not matching with that of the background, I'll again toggle the visibility of the blend tone layer to off first, and by selecting the subject layer once again, similar to before, if we change our full range option to highlights first and then apply the tone brush tool at the highlights only, now you'll be able to see that the application of this tone brush tool is automatically adjusting to that of the background. And now similarly, if we select the subject tool again and then change the full range from highlights to midtones, now like before, if we simply click and brush over the midtone areas of our subject, you'll be able to see that the blend effect by using this tone brush tool is automatically adjusting to that of the background for the subject. And similarly, by selecting the blend tone layer in order to avoid the creation of the new blend tone layer, this time let us select the shadows option right here and then brush over the shadow areas of our subject in order to apply those blend effects to the shadows of the subject. And since we have not selected the subject layer here, this time you can see that it is applying those blend effects to the blend tone layer itself apart from creating a new blend tone layer. So let us hold down the shift key and click on the blend tone layer that was created separately and then group them all together inside of one group. And this time let us check the before and after. So this was the before and this now is the after, where the tones are consistent with that of the background. And similar to the dodge and burn effect, the blend option also creates a new blend tone layer when we apply this effect inside of our composition automatically, which is one of the plus point in order to apply these features non-destructively inside of our composition. So I hope you get the concept here, and if you find this video helpful, please click on the like button, and for more helpful tips and tricks related to Affinity, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching this video and see you on the next video.